Welcome back, everybody. We're here with another week of SEC football. It is now week 8, which is hard to believe. We are deep in the middle of October. Y'all see the headline.
October.
We're in Cocktober right now, where the madness happens. But it's not what this video is about. We hitting up Bama taking on Tennessee in Bryant-Denny Stadium Saturday night, ABC primetime slot. You know, it should be a great ball game. Y'all are the two Bama uh, experts, fandom, and all of that. So I'm gonna let y'all kick it off. What do y'all think about this game going into this one? Each with one loss, but only one has one SEC loss already. Bama's been on a roll ever since the FSU game. So I'll let y'all take it off.
Man, just really understanding what the season is right now when it comes to college football. This is a huge game for both teams in the aspect of playoff picture, conference championship picture. What do we have to do for the rest of the season to get to the overall championship game we're trying to get to? Both of these teams right here cannot afford a loss. I can promise you that right there. So it's going to be a jam-packed heavy hitter. Now, when I think about what overall this game is going to bring to the table, I think it is going to be a game kind of like the Missouri game for Alabama. I think it's going to be a game that they're going to have in their hands, and you just better not drop it for Tennessee because I think Tennessee's only chance to winning this game is for winning in a shootout, which is very possible. Because one, I think Bama's defense is capable of giving up points. This year so far in big certain games, it's been like defining games for them. They've had a turnover type of streak where they get a turnover or two to kind of push them ahead of the over team. But I think for this game right here, Bama has to at least dominate the turnover battle and also stay ahead of the penalty battle. Do not get hit in penalties, do not get in first and longs, second and longs, third and longs. That is a disaster for this overall Tennessee offense because they just high power. I don't really see them in the games I've watched them this year be a team that can really have 8 to 9 play drives and beat you all game long. They're going to depend on big plays, and they're going to depend on big plays to take the crowd out of it. New quarterback in town, same old system with Highbolt, and I think that this is kind of something that we've seen before with Bama. It's going to be 3 quarters of back and forth, I think. Bama's going to take it away in the fourth quarter just by being a more complete team all around and having a more consistent offense, passing and run game. So I think Bama's going to win this one by 10. I still think it's going to be high scoring. Think about like a 42-30 type game. But I think it's going to be an overall win down in Bryant-Denny Stadium Saturday night for Bama. What you think, Sean?
Good call, man. Good call. I agree with the prediction on the Alabama win. I think the things that Tennessee has going against them, one, this game's on the road. Two, Tennessee ain't really played nobody yet. They have played Georgia. We do have a common opponent. We defeated Georgia on the road. Tennessee lost to Georgia in overtime. I still don't really know exactly who Georgia really is. We're going to find that out in a minute. But at the end of the day, I think Bama has already been battle tested. Their quarterback has been battle tested. They've lost the game and they've had to come back, and they've done everything right ever since. Now, the one thing we have to pay attention to, and I did not hear anything coming out of Alabama's camp today about Jam Miller. The one thing that really has helped Bama out in their quote unquote run after the FSU loss was the Jam Miller in the running game kind of getting going again. I really think that has to be a part of what makes Alabama's offense a successful offense. Because if you make them one dimensional like FSU did when Jam Miller was not available, then you could actually give Ty Simpson some problems if you've got some, some. I'm not going to say you got to have better than decent. You got to have really good play on the back end, I believe, to stop this Alabama offense with the quarterback and the receivers and everything they can throw at you. But if you've got that, which I do believe Tennessee has, if Alabama comes in one dimensional, it could be a problem. But I'm at the end of the day, man, I'm becoming really confident in the fact that if you give Ty Simpson the ball with a little time on the clock, he'll make something happen. So outside of, I'm okay with Bama being in tight games like they were against Missouri. If they've got the ball with a chance to score and win at the end. What I'm not convinced about is whether Alabama's defense can stop somebody from scoring in a 2-minute drill. So especially an offense like Heupels. Now, I don't. Tennessee is not running the ball like a juggernaut this season, which bodes well for Alabama, who's not defending the run very well at this particular point in time in regards to filling gaps and things of that nature. I think I've read that Damani Jackson, who has really been a disappointment this year, they're kind of putting him. He's going to have less snaps because I don't know if it's entitlement or what. He came in with a lot of hype and this and that, and he's just not even giving any effort on the field. And I applaud Caleb DeBoer for taking him and sitting his ass down for a little bit until you can figure out whether you want to play football or not. Because while Alabama's schedule is kind of lightening up on them a little bit as opposed to what it was these past 3 weeks, you still need everyone giving 100% effort. So if you can't give it, you got to go. So I applaud them for that. But I'm still thinking, like you said, Drew, this is going to be a game that looks a lot like Missouri. It's going to look a lot like the Missouri game. Us being at home, hopefully us being able to run the ball. If Jam Miller plays, I got us winning by 10 plus. If Jam Miller does not play, I still have us winning the game by 3 or possibly even less than that. I mean, this could be a stupid game. But Bama, somewhere between 3 and 10, or maybe a little more, but it really depends on whether or not we're going to be able to run the ball or not. And that's all just an injury report, that we need to see, or I need to see, to be able to make that final determination. But I think Bama's going to win the game regardless. Too much momentum, too much talent. And I just don't think Tennessee is there right now.
Yeah. And so looking at this game from my perspective, I'm looking at it from a couple of different factors. Bama is definitely on a roll, and they've kind of each game taken the mindset of, hey, we've tried to establish our identity after week one. And I'm at the point now after watching them for a couple of weeks, so I'm ready to throw that Florida State game out the window. Everybody has one game, and it's the Mulligan game, because they have not looked like that same team since then. They've really settled into what they want to do. They're playing really good football now. You still got some holes here and there, some questionable marks. I think last week told me a lot, especially from the running defense of Bama, because you're going up against with Missouri has, in my opinion, the best running back in college football. And to be able to slow that offense down, take that factor away, and make them beat you through the air with a kind of unproven quarterback is, I think, kind of what you're looking at with Tennessee. Now, I'm giving Tennessee the benefit of the doubt, because they're always going to be a high-powered offense, and the main thing a lot of people overlook with them is that they're very run focused. Tennessee don't mistake the big flashy plays and everything going down the field, throwing the ball, but they want to run. They ran last week against Arkansas. I think it was over 250 yards rushing last week, with a running back who had Bishop had 146 yards. And then Aguilar is very dangerous with his feet as well. So those two factors, can Bama this will be the third week in a row that they had the same test, where you had Diego Pavia, who is a dual threat kind of quarterback, and they had a running back that kind of complement them. You got to shut both of those down and then make them play traditional football and beat you through the air. And then you had another one last week with Prabula and Hardy with Missouri, and that type of offense, shut the two of them down, keep the scrambling and the big wow plays to a minimum away. And then now you're doing it again with Tennessee. I think I agree with you, Sean, or both of y'all, when it comes to the point of this game, though, is if this game was in Tennessee, I could see it being a lot closer, even at a 3:30 or a night game slot in Tennessee. The fact that it's in Bama, you're in your backyard, you're playing with a ton of confidence, you're just getting better week by week. The coaching staff seems to finally gotten their heads around the players and got the players focused on, hey, this is what we need to do week in and week out. There's no more, we're Bama walking into a game, we should dominate, everybody's gonna be scared of us. You kind of started to see that kind of clear out, and they're playing real good football. And this team, to me, is looking like the DeBoer team of Washington. You can see some very, very, very big similarities between those two teams now. It just says that he's getting his personnel in, that he wants to be able to run the system that he wants to run there. But I've got this game being I think it's gonna be high scoring. I got close to what Tennessee had last week. I have like a 34-28 type of ball game for this one. I think it will be close. I think some big plays, or I think some mistakes forced by Bama, just like in the Missouri game, you get the late interceptions or some turnovers that'll be the costly mark for Tennessee in this game. But I do think they pull this one out, in my opinion. Especially you go look at the facts or the stats for Bama's offense right now. Pass per game, they're 15th in the nation right now when it comes to passing the ball. You know, your points per game, you're 36, total yards, 39th. Rushing is a skewed stat because, like you said, Sean, you've got some injuries in that running back room. You kind of see it trend in the right direction with Jam Miller being back. Is he 100%? Will he play in this game? We still don't know yet. But then you go on the other side of the ball with Tennessee's defense. Points allowed 104th, total yards 100th, passing yards 123rd, going against the 15th best passing attack in the country. You know, all of these stats kind of scream at you that, hey, this is how this game should play out. Now, they lead the nation in sacks per game, so will this O line kind of mesh and keep Ty Simpson upright will be another big factor. But to me, I just think it's a little cut and paste. I like that 8.5 point favorite spread that's out right now as a Tuesday night for this game. But I just think it's too tall of a task for this Tennessee team to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium at night against a confident Bama team and come out with a win. So I got 34-28 for my game prediction for this one, going Bama side.
Yeah, that's a good one. And a couple other things as we're talking about this. You mentioned the O line for Alabama. You know, if they keep Ty Simpson upright for the rest of the season, they're going to be a tough out. If Ryan Williams finds his way back into this offense this weekend, they're going to be a tough out. You know, there's so many receivers. There's so much that Ty Simpson is doing that is making this team, keeping this team in games, making this team feel like a team that you cannot put away. You know what I'm saying? Almost kind of like Kansas City Chiefs, you know, have been in the NFL. Like, you can't give these guys 30 seconds with an opportunity to score and win a game because they could possibly do it. I see Bama becoming some sort of version of that type of offense. You know what I'm saying? But it does come with balance, like I said, and the defense has to continue to help out. Tennessee hasn't really played this. They haven't played the schedule that Bama has played, with the exception of Georgia. They have one common opponent. But this is going to be a game that, like you said, home field advantage takes precedent in. The running game takes precedence in, and whether or not Tennessee can actually stop Bama for doing what they know they actually can do. So I'm looking forward to the game. It's going to be a shootout. Y'all right. It's going to be high scoring, and I'm going to be pacing again like I was against Missouri. But yeah, Bama with the dub.
You know what's kind of weird to me? If we take the Florida State game out of Bama's schedule this year, this team kind of feels like 2018, 2019 Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much talent on this team, not household names like that team had, but there's so much talent on this team. It's almost like if we took Ty Simpson off his offense and put Tua back in his offense, this team would be so amazing. I think that this team right now can really just try to stay focused. And I think it's about coaching for this team. If Kalen DeBoer can keep this team focused on what they want to get done, I think that this team can really be great. And what I saw last week and why I want to get back into this game, what I saw and why I think this game is going to be a lot like Missouri is because Missouri, to me, was the offense, like, had so many mistakes in that game. That was our mistake game. We always have one in the season where we just make so many mistakes, so many mistakes. You saw it with the Bryce Young team when we lost to Texas A&M that year. You saw with Tua team, I think we lost to one. It was a Texas A&M again with Tua team as well. It's just like, how do we make so many mistakes where we're not moving the ball the way we should move the ball? That's what I saw against Missouri, and we still were able to get that win. This game against Tennessee, I think it's going to be a true test of our defense more than it is going to be our offense. Even if Jam Miller plays or not plays, I think our run game is going to be there. I don't know how you feel about it, Sean, but to me, Kevin Riley and what they saw last week in Daniel Hill, I always felt like Kevin Riley, his stats don't meet up to where I feel like his production's been on the field. He's right. He's close to breaking out. Daniel Hill, I thought, just brought in a totally different level. I thought it was almost like an Eddie Lacy type level to the offense last week when he came in the game, even as a pass catcher. So I think that this team is really just finding nits and different parts of their offense that could just come out. But I think you're going to see heavy Ryan Williams, heavy, I always get this man's name, Bernard.
Bernard, yep.
Yeah, I always
Or
miss his first name, but Bernard, I think we're a heavy dose of them two back in the offense again. And overall, Ty Simpson's got to stay away from turnovers. You play that type of game, it's going to be all on the defense.
Mhm.
The defense, now, we talked about Damani Jackson. I hope he don't see the field at all. I'm done with him, to be honest with you, Sean. I think it is entirely
Terrible.
ego. You came from USC where you was a hometown kid, where you thought you was going to be the top tier corner. You transferred to Bama to work with Nick Saban. He retired on you. So now you just feel like I'm here by name, and I don't see the talent and production with your name. Defense-wise, secondary is going to get tested extremely down the field. I see a lot of holding calls. I see a lot of pass interference on the field that's going to allow this Tennessee offense to get key possessions down the field. It's got to be some turnovers mixed in there, Sean. I don't see Bama's defense holding up all game long without turnovers. And that's a sad thing to say, but I don't see it.
And I think we created our first turnover last week.
Right.
Maybe with the interception. No, with the interception.
We've had more interceptions. Yeah, we've had more interceptions.
Okay.
We've had turnovers all year long, but it's basically been like we've had to depend on turnovers in key situations to get the ball moving.
Yeah.
I think in the Georgia game, it was a fumble. I think in it was one game, it was like 2 interceptions. I forgot who it was. It was right after the Florida State game. But it was like we've had turnovers all year long. This game right here, we have to depend on them.
Yeah.
Last week in Missouri, I thought Missouri was gonna go down and win that game with a touchdown if we didn't get that pick. I said on live stream, if y'all don't know anything about us, we do live streams once a week. Tune in for us for the live stream, reaction videos. But I said in my head during that drive, I said if we don't get a turnover, they're gonna go out there and get this touchdown. And that was with the quarterback last week that I thought was the worst part on the field for Missouri. He was inaccurate as hell. Aguilar's not going to be that. He's going to be on point. He's going to be more of a Diego Pavia type quarterback and confidence. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. And I've seen for years and years and years, there's always one quarterback that makes his name in Brian Denny against Alabama. I'd be damned if I see it this weekend right here. The board, this is all about coaching and having your team prepared.
It is.
Right here. You gotta show up for this game right here. But I think we got all the ingredients to beat this Tennessee team and beat them handily. I just don't know if I'm ready to give Bama that type of trust yet. I'm ready to turn my head around and be like, you know what, roll tide. I'm halfway across.
Yeah.
Like I'm not fully ready yet. I'm scarred a little bit, man. But I saw interesting stat though. I'm gonna leave on this. I saw interesting stat saying y'all can fact check me if this is real or not, saying that Ty Simpson has already tied the passing touchdown output we did last season.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a real stat or not, but I heard somebody through Instagram talking about it. And they said that Ty Simpson's already tied the passing output we put on the field last season for passing touchdowns.
I can believe that.
If that is true, I'm just like the pain we went through with the Jalen Murrow offense. I'm so hesitant to say we are finally out of that phase and we're into a new greatness of offense. That I'm just hesitant. I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
I still got Bama winning this game though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I hear you. Well, hey, stay tuned, everybody, for the next couple of videos. We got a lot coming out this week, but until then, we'll catch you next time. Leave your comments down below. We'll get to them on Sunday. Until then, we'll see you. Stay tuned for the next one.